It's Friday, September 23rd, 2022. I believe it's the first full day of autumn, or to the end of it. I didn't sleep very well. I had a tormented dream. It was actually the best simple explanation that I can use to describe it in plain speak is it was a drunk dream. There's no drinking involved, um, but I was just in a drunk state of experiencing reality, quite inebriated or under the effects of extreme paralytic sedation and feeble-mindedness and anesthetic. And I could not function or communicate or feel or speak or do anything, and it felt like the world was, kind of putting up with me and kind of trying to be nice, but also judging and mocking. And I don't remember. I was trying to get some food, and the order wasn't right, and I was confused about that, and I was trying to pay, and there was a kid, and he was looking for a tip, but I didn't have any cash to tip him with, and I was like, it'll have to go on the card, and I don't know, and there was some other confusion, and then I was driving, and I kept having trouble getting into the lane that I needed to get on to get the right direction, and it kept looping me back, and it was like driving on ice too, and the car was not handling. Everybody else's car seemed to be fine, but mine was like driving in slow motion and on ice, and I could not, nothing was cooperating or behaving as yeah. And then I started hearing the meowing, and I realized that Kiki was there, and I didn't know that I remembered how she would meow and talk, and but I got a good recall in that dream. I can't remember it really well right now, and I don't have any audio recordings of her, which is kind of sad. I mean, she sounded like a cat, but she had particular calls and chirps and meows, and it was her, and her intonations and vocabulary. And I know, but still, she was like the most important thing in my life for a long time, and she was my best friend, and she was there for me when no one else was, and she saw it all. She just didn't know what she was seeing, of course. But she was in the dream. She was in the car with me, and I don't remember. She was okay because I checked on her, and I talked to her. And I don't remember. The dream ended, and there was no resolution. But I woke up, and I was kind of upset, and I had only been asleep for maybe 2 hours in the middle of the day, and I haven't been back to sleep since. So I just got up. I gave up on sleep, and just got up and decided to make some food, and then watch a little bit of YouTube and think about writing, but then not. And I'm doing this instead before I go take out my contacts and lie down again try to sleep for a few hours before going back into work in the morning. And then I've noticed that I must have gotten bit by something in my sleep or outside at some point, because I've got like a place on my forehead that's sensitive, and I don't know. It's not quite like a bug bite, but it's right on the, on the. I thought it was like where I bumped my, but it's not. It's up here. So maybe it is a bug bite. I'm just gonna try to leave it alone, but it's like really kind of sensitive. It's like, ow. So it might be an infected or a subcutaneous pore that got clogged and is causing a ruckus. So just keep the skin area clean, dry as best as I can. And I guess the other thing that I'm kind of curious to see tomorrow is this person that I came across at work a couple months ago now. That and I think I've mentioned it maybe once or twice, but it came to an escalation. The last time I was there at the same, I guess it was Wednesday, and she will not leave me alone. And she seems to have decided that, I have to be her friend and I have to talk to her. And she comes to my area to try to initiate conversation. And because apparently it's like a thing where people at work have, like, they don't have enough to do and they have free time to just stop what they're doing if somebody approaches them, because everybody wants to not work. And so it's like, at any excuse, well, there's a person, I have to stop what I'm doing and talk to this person. Otherwise I'm being rude, or otherwise I'm being mean. I don't know. I don't know what the rules are. But apparently if you don't stop what you're doing and engage with the person until they are satisfied that a conversation and they've been recognized and acknowledged and validated and appreciated and asked how they were doing and how small talk and how was the weather last night and what'd you do last night, how's the family, get to know you, all that stuff. I don't know. I don't do that. So I've got enough to do, and if I don't do it, it doesn't get done, and it just means that I'll have more to do later. So it's like, whatever I don't get done, it's not somebody else who's going to do it. No, it just won't get done, and it just piles up. And it becomes it drowns me, overwhelms me, saturates me. It's just I get flooded, and I just, before I even go into work, I'm behind, until I get some sort of mental image. But anything until then, it's like I'm just kind of like, on my own clock. And other people, it's like, yeah, I'm okay to, like, as long as I'm, allowed to continue. But if they want me to, like, stop and engage them in conversation, I don't do that, So, but this person seems to really, really have taken a shine to me or an interest in me on some other than small talk level. And I think, I'm not sure. I'm kind of wondering. First I thought it was like what's it called? An infatuation or a crush or something. And then I was thinking, well, maybe it's actually something a little bit more serious. Like maybe she found out from somebody without my permission, and breaking my anonymity and privacy, that I have some involvement in connections with the recovery community in the local area. And so she's either has a personal problem or has somebody in her family or relation or whatever that knows somebody, and she wants me to talk to her to make contact or something, or get advice or counseling. And it's like, I'm not there to do that. I'm being paid to do, so it's like, yeah, I mean, I could, if that was what she wanted, she could tell me about that. But she wants to me to have lunch with her, to discuss it. And she was like asking me, like, when do you take lunch? We can talk then. It's like, I don't do that. I tried to explain that my breaks and my lunches are, it's personal time, and and she was like, well, I really need to talk to you, and I don't want to talk out where other people can see, and it's like, yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. So I don't know. Just the way it came across and the way things were said, not exactly the words, but the way things were said, it came across as fairly suspicious and sketchy and a bit dubious. And it's like, because her original approach was one of, it felt like, it seemed like she was had a bit of an infatuation. And then when that didn't work, and I wasn't paying her attention, I was like, I got a sense, and I was like, okay, I'll just not pay any attention anymore. I'll just, yeah, distance, and she'll just figure it out and go away. Well, I try to be nice. I try. Diplomatic distancing. Just a cessation of attention. It's like, well, okay, because whatever I was giving was not enough, and she began to get really demanding for more attention and the correct attention. And why am I not paying her more attention? And I should be paying her more attention. And do I not care? It's like, wait, what? When did... So it was like getting really weird really fast. And it's like, okay, boundaries broken. I didn't even know, like, wow. So anyway, I just kind of got weirded out by that and just kind of shut down. And so then I thought that maybe this other approach was a tactic or strategy to try to, get me alone, to try to broach a subject that she thinks is sensitive to me, and I might consider secret and private. And well, she found out about my secret, so I have to go talk to her in private. Otherwise, she might blab or spread rumor, gossip, and hearsay. And it's like, sure, go, whatever. So I have no idea, but she's a nice person, I think, but just not the type of person that I would want to voluntarily spend an appreciable amount of time. It's like a little bit of pleasantry and small talk, sure, I can do that. I do that with a number of people. But I think she got some sort of impression that there's more than meets the eye, and I'm a person that you want to get to know. And it's like, no, I don't want to be the person that you want to get to know. I just want to do what I know how to do and then get out. Because people are just, I don't know. So, and maybe, and I'm sure she considers herself and believes herself to be a very fine person, and a person that I should want to get to know, and if I would only give her a chance. But I'm just not interested in, seeking out and developing and getting to know, like, friends and things like that. It's just not, because people require so much attention and energy, and it's so it's like my dance card is kind of full. I have a life of my understanding, and it might not be much, and I might be despondent from time to time and want to change, and things like that. But for now, it's like I'm doing whatever it is that I feel comfortable with, and it's like I think it's like that sense that something is wrong. I gotta kind of believe in that or go with it. So it's like I just get a bad feeling about this person, and I'm just carefully distancing and monitoring and assessing and trying to bring in one other person that I already do trust and have developed a rapport with over the course of years. And they understand that I am a little bit different, and I've explained to them a little bit. They don't understand, of course. But they take me at my word, and they can tell when I am getting upset. And so they, they've got my back. And and I have noticed that this person that has been approaching me without my permission, multiple times, even after I've stood my ground, and, it's like, no, in the most polite way possible. That I can tell. I'm sure to her it just sounded rude or mean, or I'm being, but she's the one approaching me. It's like, it's a bad interaction. She's not getting the interaction that she wants. So if she just leave me be, and then she wouldn't have a bad interaction. I mean, I describe it as, I don't mean to be mean. I don't mean to be anything. So it's like my space is being invaded. So time will tell, but I'm kind of glad for the security cameras up above. So if something does happen, it's like I know that I'm, being watched. And so I just try to maintain my best behavior. And it's like the last thing I want to do is be caught by myself with her. So it's like, because then she could just say anything. And sure, I have a reputation of being like I keep to myself and sort of thing, but I don't know. I don't know what people will believe, what they're capable of believing. It's like, and so it's like I've been trying to, and I've been watching my friendliness. It's like just even today, somebody new that I don't know approached me out of nowhere and introduced themselves to me and wanted to know my name. And it's like, okay. And I was just kind of friendly, and I was even a little bit, open, I guess. And I guess that was a good interaction. But then later I thought about, it's like saying something and being like, a little bit additional to confirm that I'm a safe person and I'm okay. Then I was like, no, I gotta watch that excessive friendliness. And like, because who knows, maybe people get the wrong idea and they think, I don't know. So I just have been working on interacting less with people, and fewer people, fewer interactions. And then that way I don't get overwhelmed, or, because this latest one is just, it's just really confusing. And it's like, I don't know what she wants. And whether it's a crush or a connection to recovery, it's like, I'm distancing myself from recovery because of, the what feels like abuse in some aspects, because I am not what people expected. I'm not what they want me to be. I'm not recovering correctly. I'm being happy or satisfied or contented. And obviously that's bad, because the better you feel, the more likely you're going to have a disaster and then run back to your drug of choice or whatever. And maybe that's the experience of most people. That's not my experience. Returning to the drinking or having a drink, it's about the whole thing. It's like, that doesn't solve anything. That's exactly right. And I would begin to, instead of thinking my way through things, I would just drink my way through things. I wouldn't solve anything. I wouldn't. I would just have less energy, or motivation, or inclination, or to talk about it, write about it, run about it, and I would just drink more, and it would just be that self-perpetuating cycle of compounding consequences and the lingering lamentations. So at least now it's like I have a fighting chance to discern discrepancies in people's behavior and all those little minor hypocrisies that people don't think you notice, but they're there. And I'm sure I have them too, and I just forgive myself automatically. Like, I'm allowed, because I'm me. And I guess that a lot of other people just figure that people, they don't really aren't paying attention. But I find that there are a number of people that are paying more attention than what I might realize or what they might realize, or, it's always kind of fun. And it's like, oh, you remembered that. Wow, that's great. And somebody was actually paying attention to something I said, and they remembered a fine little point, and it's like, oh, right, yeah. And it's like, good for, wow. Because I try to do that I have to do it on purpose. Like when somebody says something, it's like, oh, wow. It's like a little detail. Remember it later, and, so. My social skills and people skills, it really does take up a lot of my energy. And it's like how much of my energy and thought reserves and capacity is reserved for, just keeping up appearances of being like a regular person. And because if it was just me in the store, just leave me doing my work. I don't need anybody else, really. Hardly ever do I need another person. If I was just left alone with no other person anywhere in the building, I wouldn't have to see anybody else. I could do my job. I would get it done. I would probably save at least 20-25% of the time, and probably about 75-80% of the stress, if not more. Because I get stressed out by the people, not the work. The work's fine. I can do the work. It's not a bother. It's not a problem at all. The work, I enjoy it, even though it's very simple. I enjoy it because it's simple. I can think about anything I want. I can compose. I can write. I can philosophize. I can theorize. I can do anything. I can travel. But the people, when they start talking to me and coming by and like wanting to chit chat and make those little quips and small talks, and that just throws me off, and I'm stripped from whatever world or environment that I'm currently occupying, or whatever song I'm singing, or whatever I'm writing. It just gets destroyed and stripped away, and I lose my train of thought, and it's very unsettling and disassociating. And people don't know that. They're just being friendly. And there's no harm in that. But to me, it's like sapping and draining my reserves. It's the same thing with like running and stuff. It's like if I go early enough and I don't see anybody else, I have a really good run. But if I wait till later and other people are out on the trail, I have worse runs because I'm being seen, and I start to get self-conscious, and I think about the other person and them seeing me, and I think about myself and how I appear to them and their experience of seeing me, and it's like, and just until I get by them and out of sight and out of their experience, I feel like I am trapped within their experience, and they're just sucking life out of me, and it's a little bit disturbing. So, but when I'm by myself, I'm just by myself. So, anyway, this has gone on long enough, and it was just a bunch of nothing, really. There is no topic. So, but this was September 23rd, 2022. The only one there ever will be, and I guess it was a good day. And no resolution on anything else either. Just I haven't made any progress, and yeah, I don't have anything else to say about it. So yeah, that's it.